We are so happy to hear your so much stories. Now, I would love to uh, know why you prefer young readers over grown up people.
It's not that I prefer young readers more than grown ups. I like them all. What has happened is, as I told you, I didn't really want to become a writer in the sense, it was not my ambition to become a writer. I wanted to teach, and I was teaching in a college. You can call me an accidental writer. It started by because when my son was small, we used to get this magazine Tinkle, and I found that they were asking for writers to send to enter the competition, and I sent this entry, which is Butterfingers, and that is how it happened. It became children's literature. Had I seen a magazine for older people and they had asked for a story, I would have written for older people, and maybe I would have ventured into writing only for not only for older people, for older people. But since I started with this, and then again it continued in that way, then some children's magazines asked me to write for them. So somehow I got stuck in that. Then Tinkle asked me to create a character, as I was just telling your friend, and Butterfingers, I brought him back. Somehow I got, and I also love children. That's also why I write books for children. I enjoy being with them. And when I taught in a school for a couple of years before I went to teach in a college, and college students are just overgrown children. So being with children, being with students is something I really enjoy, and I think I can relate to them, understand how they think. I really the kind of the warmth that they have, the love that they show, the mischief that they are capable of. It's a nice combination, and I therefore enjoy writing for children. But I've also written for adults. A couple of books I have written, and I enjoy writing for them also. But what is common to all my writing is that it is humor driven. I use humor. So I can't say I love children, I adore children, but it's not exactly like I like children better than older people. I like writing for them. I've been enjoying writing for them, and I feel comfortable writing for them.
When was the time you, as an adult, discovered your love for children's literature?
See, you don't discover a love for children's literature in the sense you're growing up reading books. So, from the time I was small, I was always reading books. Reading was my passion, not writing. And when I grew up in a house with readers, my siblings, I'm the youngest of eight, all read books. And when you have so many older siblings, they are studying in different colleges, different classes. So they will be bringing books. We couldn't afford to buy books like that. So we would borrow from the libraries, borrow from friends. And so when you are small, you're reading children's literature. You're enjoying children's literature. In those days, there was nothing like young adult literature. So we were not exactly told what to read. And we were, unlike y'all who have so many distractions, you have so many other outlets. For us, it was only two things. Entertainment was reading books or playing actual games outside. So these were the two things that we used to do all the time. So you're growing up reading and enjoying children's literature. And we read widely. All Enid Blyton, William books, P.T. Woodhouse school stories, Angela Brazil. There were so many other writers. Then we started reading the classics. You're growing up, but you continue to read. We read the abridged uh, classics. We didn't read them the original, they're huge. So we read, there used to be something called Classics Illustrated. So in comic form, we have all these classics like Jane Eyre, Charles Dickens's books, and R.L. Stevenson. Very nice. So what happened is we are getting introduced to great books. And that introduction makes you want to go as you grow older to the original. And but at the same time, since you have enjoyed children's literature so much, it doesn't leave your mind. Even now, when I read a children's book, it makes me feel very happy because a children's book gives a kind of a joy that all adult books will not give you. Adult books, they stimulate a lot of other emotions in you. Not the children's books don't, but in general, there is a joy when you read children's books that it is very special. So that is probably why, I really enjoy children's literature even now.
I'd like to hear from you what skills, habits, and practices shall be followed by a writer to achieve literary success.
As I was telling earlier, in order to write well, you should have a strong foundation of reading. Uh, Writing can happen as a superstructure over reading. So you need to be a very good reader, a reader who reads widely, a reader who enjoys reading all kinds of books before you can think of writing seriously. What I mean is, think of writing to get published. But otherwise, what you need to do to become a writer is by reading, what happens is that is one of the main hints about writing, because when you read, you get exposed to different kinds of books, to different approaches, different points of view. Different writers use different styles. You understand? The way they use the language, the way they manipulate language, how you are going to use language, all that is made, is honed when you read widely. You don't understand, you don't realize the kind of process that is happening in your brain. Everything we read goes and stays somewhere there. And when you start writing, so when you want to write, so that is what reading does to you. It is improving a lot of your skills unconsciously. So when you have a passion for writing and when you start writing, these skills that you have developed through your reading get channelized and you are able to write well. You understand? So my first advice to you would be to keep reading, not stop reading because you are going to be a writer. It's very difficult. Once you become a writer, to find time to read is very difficult. You have to steal time to read, but you have to keep reading. And you also you must have a good imagination. You must have a creative imagination. You must be the kind of person who can think up new ideas. You must, because we are all basically storytellers. Storytelling is inherent in us. We have always liked listening to stories, telling stories, right? Even tall stories. When you come late to class, you'll make up a story immediately. So we are very creative actually. And that creativity will be triggered by what you read too. Your imagination will get better. You must learn to imagine. And imagination means also thinking of different ways of doing things and so on. And you must also be very observant. All right? Very observant. You must watch people. You must watch how people behave. Not just people, animals, everything, the environment. So you must have a great sense of curiosity. Curiosity about the world we live in, about the people we meet, about the people we don't meet, about everybody. The curiosity should be a positive curiosity, not the curiosity that is going to make you critical, that is making you feel unhappy about how a person is behaving, say rather rude things about people, not that kind of a thing. A healthy curiosity. It mustn't be an unhealthy curiosity. A healthy curiosity about the people we meet. Not that everybody you meet is a good person, but you're learning from all kinds of people, right? How they are. So all this makes you understand people better. And when you are writing, you create different types of characters. Unconsciously, you may be picking from here and there and here and there. It's not all your imagination. See, your friend Charu has written that book. So the characters that she has created, they may be supposedly figments of her imagination. But when I'm reading that, I realize when she talks about the mother and father of the main characters, some of Those characteristics must be her parents' characteristics. You understand? So you're not conscious, but you do that. So these are the things that you can do to improve your writing. Plus, keep writing. It's hard work. Persistence is important. Perseverance is important. You must not be unhappy with if somebody tells you your writing isn't particularly great. You must be able to take criticism well, because every time somebody criticizes you, it is they have found something that can be improved in your book, right? So don't be annoyed with them, because what we are writing is not perfect. So we want to write better and better. So you have to ask other people to read your work. Don't make it a very secret thing. If it's a secret thing, you write a diary and keep it. But if you want to write for others to read, then you must share it with others. Let them tell you how it is. Show your teachers, show your friends. Not everybody, some chosen responsible people. Don't take many copies and give it to everybody. All of you read and tell me how it is. But you just. So when you do all that, your writing skills will keep improving. And I would also like you to try and write different kinds of genre. You might think you're very good at writing a short story, but actually you may be good at writing poems. You may be good at writing articles. Maybe you will be best at writing a novel. You get me? So try your hand at different things. And then you will find out what exactly you are most comfortable writing. Okay? So all the best if you want to become a writer. And don't think of getting yourself published at a very young age. Unless you are really, you know that there is a certain standard and people who have read it say it is good enough to be published. Otherwise, as you grow older, you will write better and better, and then publishers will take your book.
I'm here to ask you a question. Who inspired you to write stories?
Who inspired me to write stories? Nobody inspired me.
So you just wrote stories you like?
It just happened. And because I love reading, when I wanted to write, I just wrote. So there's nothing like I wanted to be like a particular writer. I wanted to write like a particular writer. Nothing like that. So there's nothing like direct influence on me. But you can say there are indirect influences in my writing. Because as I told you, I've been writing humorous books. So humor is my strength or my weakness. And I love reading humorous writers who write humorous works. So maybe those writers, like this Jerome K. Jerome I was talking about, P.G. Wodehouse, Bill Bryson, and a lot of other writers who are not exactly humorous in the sense that their writing is humorous from the beginning to the end, but in their writing there is also humor. So you enjoy writing that, and all those writers like Marquez, he's not a humorous writer, but then you do find something that's extremely interesting, and sometimes you smile when you read something. There is this very serious writer called Rohinton Mistry, but there is a lot of humor in the way he presents things. So like that, you find writers writing, bringing in humor, and you enjoy that.
Ma'am, who is your favorite author?
My favorite author is, I have many favorite authors, but my most favorite author is P.G. Wodehouse.
What did you understand by her stories?
What did I understand by his stories is his stories are very farcical. They're very humorous. They bring back the the early 20th century to life. And he creates a world which is very cheerful, which is very, there's a lot of humor in the situations that he creates. Humorous characters that he creates. And I realized that you can generate humor by by writing about situations that are almost farcical, all right, and by having characters which that have certain specific characteristics. He plays on them, like Bertie Wooster, Jeeves, and so on. Yeah.
I was wondering, I'm writing a book and can you help me? I'm kind of stuck.
You're stuck on what to write next. Well, that is something that every writer faces. You get stuck somewhere and you don't know what to do. So there is a word for that, what they call writer's block. Have you heard of that phrase? Writer's block. That is when you're not able to proceed further because something has stopped you from writing. Somehow, suddenly, your imagination stops working. You don't know, the story isn't progressing. I think what you ought to do at such a time is don't worry about it. Don't, if you worry, then it will only get worse. You stop thinking about your story for some time. You're stuck somewhere, right? You're not able to progress.
Yeah.
You're not able to proceed further. You stop, you calm yourself, you read something else.
Okay.
You read some other book, you talk to your friends, and try to make your mind fresh.
Okay.
Because that's what has happened. You got so stressed out writing, and then you got stuck at some point, and you are not able to progress because you're going on worrying about what to write, how to write, and so on. That's not helping you in any way. So, what you need to do is to give yourself a break. And after that, you get back to the book, read the story again, and you will be inspired. And then you will look at your story with fresh eyes. And by then, you would have already just read here and there, here and there. Your mind is now getting fresh. And you will see something new. And you will think, okay, now I can take the story in this direction. Maybe I can make the character do this. You understand? So, write without that feeling of urgency.
Okay.
Write in a very calm way. Give yourself time, and I'm sure you will find a solution to your problem.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. And all the best.